residents of Ogun State are worried about the learning conditions of Akute Community Secondary School. The school, which lies practically on an access road, has no proper classrooms, no fence, leaving students exposed to various hazards. This next report tells us more about the school.
In one word, can you describe this scenario? Well, keep the thoughts coming, but this is Akute Community Secondary School in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. For a while now, these students, for no fault of theirs, have been subjected to this deplorable condition. Seem like a normal life, both the students and class teacher are in a world of their own. A typical day in the school is what you see here: noise, distraction, chaos, everyone to himself. Filming this was a challenge as the teachers resisted us for the fear of losing their job, but we had to continue. So from JSS 1 to SS3, no partitioning to classify the classrooms, if there's any. And on the same stretch is a major road which adds to the level of distraction, making retention a big deal. With the students back home, we get a better glimpse of their supposed learning environment. Government, in its view, are still projecting what can be done.
We're looking at two options. First is that we found a land in an existing school not too far from there, which is part of the intervention of the SUBEB, which we will, anytime from now, we will award that contract. Again, we're looking at relocating the primary school to the school 1, which is also not too far from there, so that at least the secondary school will remain there, so that at least it will be able to contain those children for now. So these are the two options. We are concerned, and of course we are putting all these various options in place. And even yesterday I still held a meeting with the governor up till about 12 midnight, and of course it centers mainly on this Akute Community High School.
Every time school is in session, judging by the schedule of the Ministry of Education, close to 200 students gather in this structure to be taught.
Every day when I pass here, I just look at our government. Our government are not doing right. If your parents don't have money to put you in private school, doesn't mean that you cannot go to public school and become somebody in the future.
I wouldn't even send a maid to come here. At least they are collecting school fees, so they should be able to raise a temporary structure.
Actions have consequences. Tomorrow's leaders certainly deserve a better deal today. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Well, from one issue to another, to commuting on the nation's waterways, which has become a source of concern owing to the growing number of deaths recorded in the country's waters. Experts have attributed this to a few factors such as breaking safety rules by commuters and water transporters. Our correspondent Adishua Josh takes a look at some of the lapses that lead to this sordid situation.
A 2004 report by the Lagos Urban Transport shows that over 1 million cars ply various routes in Lagos every day. With an estimated population of over 17 million, this situation has given rise to traffic congestion on the roads, making it imperative for alternative transportation like water transportation. The Lagos State Waterways Authority says that the number of people who travel on Lagos waterways monthly has risen from 1.8 million to 2 million in 2013.
And this boat is one of the equipped boats you would see in this terminal. Peradventure something happens while commuting on water. This life jacket is designed to save for a couple of hours before rescue teams arrive. Now typically this is what happens.
The life jacket should keep you afloat later, rescue team arrive. If the life jacket is such a reliable first responder in the case of water accident, how does one then explain the loss of lives of water commuters across the country, like in Benue, Bayelsa, and even in Lagos, where 3 people lost their lives in Ogogoro village, Navy Town?
The incident of the other day, the boats neither had navigational lights, it was dark, and they were not wearing life jackets.
The National Emergency Management Agency spokesman, Ibrahim Farinloye, in a telephone interview, gave a shocking reason why people die in water accidents.
The life jacket we give to passengers from the commuters in boat or anything. Most of them have been identified to be fake one or expired. So by the time anything happens, you will see that the life jacket will be useless.
While the National Inland Waterways Authority, which is constitutionally responsible for providing, monitoring and enforcing safety guidelines on waterways across the country, accepts that there is need for the agency to do more in enforcing safety rules, it also says that most of these accidents are human-based.
Most of the accidents that have occurred have been issues of overloading. Some of the boats cannot take more than 13 passengers. Then when there are passengers, all of them want to go into the same boat. Even when they are being told that, look, don't go into this boat, they will forcefully put themselves on. If you have a boat that is supposed to take 13 people, and you can imagine if it has 20 people with load, with their boxes and everything, of course, there is a high tendency that there's going to be some accident. Then, of course, we have the issue of drunkenness.
As much as this sector can be a viable one, the absence of cooperation between the federal and states regulating agencies can stall development of this mode of transportation.
What Lagos State wants is a different thing. It's a different ballgame. And I think we have addressed it some time ago, that this thing is a matter that is on the concurrent legislative list. 2 people cannot make regulations regarding a single thing. Lagos State cannot be a regulator and the federal government is a regulator. However, there are functions that they can perform as owners if they want to operate. They behave like any other operator. I want to tell you that our marina jetty in Lagos State government uses it.
Ultimately, providing a safe and viable water transport system in the country will ease the pressure on the highways, providing cheaper and safer alternatives for commuters and businesses. Adeshewa Josh, Channels Television News.
A new method of child abuse seems to have gained a place in Anambra State, so says the Director of Child Development in the State's Ministry of Women Affairs. Emeka Ejide says a new method, which is the children are given up by their parents to caregivers in the cities without any thought, is the new trend in the state. And in a recent development, 3 children were found wandering with no idea of getting a shelter over their heads. Our community report tonight examines the trend and how the Anambra State government is managing the problem.
This is a common sight in Anambra State. They do this every day while their mates are in class learning. Most worrisome is the latest trend of trafficking of children under 8 years of age by their own parents under the guise that they are giving them a better life in the city.
There is this internal trafficking that actually leads to child abuse that is disturbing. You see, most people from the riverine areas, under the guise that, because most of them happen to have families of broken homes, so it becomes quite unbearable for the surviving parent, one of the parents that is taking care of the children. And the next thing they do is to give out their children to people in the metropolis with the guys that are going to train their children. And then when they come over to the metropolis, what they do is to enslave the children. Like this one as I'm talking to you, an 8-year-old girl was recovered at ABS.
8-year-old Ogochukwu Ogugua from the riverine area of Anam in Anambra State, 9-year-old Ntenko Jafua from Cotonou, and 8-year-old Wisdom from Akwa Ibom State. They are camped here in the state's community children's home in Oka. They tell their stories of abuse.
I will get your images. I go buy something for every day. I do in the morning. I will write me. Namutum, no give me food. I'm going to go, no, wait, I've got to manto. Vlo, Rassam Tobia. By show your phone now, but over time, don't look at Boho. Oh, now come back some back to town up and near some maybe come now, we should it.
The children's daily and academic needs are enormous. Their sights evoke a lot of pity.
My job is interesting. I love doing it, not because of anything, but because of the children. Because seeing them alone makes me happy. We need books, we need textbooks. Like our blackboard now, we need this will be a marker for the whiteboard. I will still need clothes for our children and sandals. So it should help us.
A cross-section of parents speak with so much worry about the trend some say is caused by poverty.
It is a sad commentary on the attitude of today parents. It is something that is quite uncomplimentary, should be condemned by every right-thinking person. Parents owe it a duty to train their children. Train at the domestic level, at the family level. Send the children to school so they can learn. They'll be able to discern between appearance and reality. And then prepare them for adult life. It's quite unfortunate, but it should be condemned by every right-thinking person.
Child abuse is a very serious issue. The parents ought to train up their children. It has been said by the government or constitution that if you know the number of children that will be able to train, even if it is one, just give birth to that one and be able to train that one. For you to bear so many children and at the end you depend on people that will take care of them for you, it is not good. And I want to advise the parents or the guardian, the people that bring these children all in the name of training them, that they should be very careful, that they should know that children are gifts from God, and if you don't do that, then you have a question to answer from God.
Ogochukwu, Intempo and Wisdom are yet to come in contact with their family members, as well as so many children helpless out there. But the good news is this trio can be found at the Mandra State Community Children's Home. The release to anyone who comes forward must be backed up with appropriate and authentic identification.